Ryan Newman looking to find a way through. It doesn't look like it's going to work. Win, and he's in to compete for a championship. Checkered flag at Phoenix for Kevin Harvick.
Newman's beside the 42, and these 42's in the wall.
Clear, checkered flag, checkered flag.
Ryan Newman is going to get in with that move on the last lap.
We said what would drivers do to make it happen. We just saw what they would do.
As Kevin Harvick was celebrating in the second to last race in the 2014 season, heartbreak would be on the other side, and it would be for Jeff Gordon, who had come so close that season to making a spot in the Final Four and competing for what would be his fifth and probably final championship he ever got in NASCAR. Ryan Newman would send it in on Kyle Larson, gaining that extra spot, finishing 11th and knocking Jeff Gordon out of that final round. And just so you all understand how big this was, Jeff Gordon had 4 wins that season. This was one of his best seasons that he had had in over a decade.
Bill?
Spotter tells the crew coming to you just as fast as you can blink your eye.
Oh, and he loses the wheel. Wow. Or loses the tire.
And he just missed clobbering the end of that wall.
That's going to be a caution. That's actually good luck for him.
A long way to go, though, to get to his pit stall, the #1 stall, all the way at the end of pit road. Kurt Busch's chance to win this championship almost came to a smashing end against the end of pit wall.
Watch how close he gets to the entrance of pit wall here. Wheel leads right here.
What was it? A foot? No more than a foot.
After a stellar performance in the 2004 Chase for the Cup, Kurt Busch entered Homestead as the championship favorite, but it was a close battle between him, Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon, and Dale Earnhardt Jr. Any slip-up by the 97 team would most likely cost them a championship, and they were very close to experiencing that. Kurt Busch would be entering pit road in the middle of the race when his right front wheel would fall off, and he came inches from hitting the yellow barriers at the entrance of pit road. Thankfully for Busch and his entire 97 team, no damage was caused in this incident. The tire would roll across the racetrack and the caution would come out, which would ultimately save Kurt Busch's race also. He was still able to win his first and only championship later that afternoon.
Bowyer! No! Gets into Larson, and around goes the rookie.
Hold it up there, lock it down.
Oh, goodness.
Oh, my gosh.
Actually, goodness had nothing to do with it.
Well, you know, you can look at it any way you want to, but it's the start of the race. Got a good jump on the 2-car. He's in the middle, and Clint is right underneath him right there. You know, you could say that the 42 cut down in front of the 15. That's easy enough to call, but by the same token, you're trying to make a first lap. You're finding the first turn.
All clear. Back outside, bumper 15, outline, but inside.
This was probably the dumbest thing that Clint Bowyer did at Richmond. Oh, wait, never mind. He already did something dumb. But besides that, Clint Bowyer drives it in so hard on the first corner of the very first lap in 2014 and takes out Kyle Larson. There was no reason for Bowyer to be driving in over his head like this, but unfortunately for Kyle Larson, he was the victim of Clint Bowyer overdriving the corner and being a complete dummy. This has to be the most shocking finish of the 2006 season by far. On the final lap, Jimmy Johnson was trying to be pushed by teammate Brian Vickers. Ultimately, Vickers would do a bad push on Johnson, sending him into Dale Earnhardt Jr., who was leading the race. This would erupt in chaos at Talladega as the crowd would start chanting BS in the background in Brian Vickers' interview. Everybody was upset.
Leads last lap.
Outside.
Vickers wants to go. It getting a little wider.
There he goes.
Junior.
Down.
Oh, no! Vickers hits the 48.
Hook to 48 and takes out Earnhardt and Jimmy Johnson.
Caution is out. The leaders had already taken the white flag.
So is it going to be the 25 or the 9?
Back on the low side. Oh, Carl slips a little.
Come on, he's sideways.
Oh, now he gets into it. Joey's into the bar, and the car's upside down. On the side is Clint.
Yellow's out, yellow is out, yellow is out.
Wallace gets into it. The 14 of Bliss gets into it.
This 91 extravaganza, a seagull that flies into the left front end of Dale Earnhardt's Chevy Lumina. He doesn't get to see the end of the race.
Be inside his fuel window, and now he's lost that clean air. Oh, a big wreck. Huge contact. 48 is involved. That's Ricky Stenhouse Jr. Now up and over goes to 27. So Jeff Burton sliding on top.
Somebody's going to engage you. All right, just hold tight right here. It doesn't take a minute here. You all good there?
Yeah, man. Did all I could there.
It's Jeff Burton's radio.
Pocono Raceway definitely has had its fair share of wild moments in its time. From crashes with Dale Jr. and Steve Park to the mysterious Elliott Sadler crash in the backstretch. But one thing's for sure, Pocono has a lot of surprises. But I don't think anybody was expecting in the NASCAR Xfinity Series race in 2022 that there would be a flip on the front straightaway with a big crash. And that's what happened to Jeb Burton. He got squeezed in between a car and the inside wall, and he basically catapulted off a left front wheel well, sliding himself on its roof across the front straightaway at Pocono. Thankfully, Jeb Burton was okay after this accident, but it was still wild. Everybody says that Dale Sr. and Jeff Gordon were the real rivals of NASCAR, but if you wanted to see two drivers that really didn't like each other, it was Rusty Wallace and Jeff Gordon. They ran into each other multiple times in the 90s and early 2000s. But it was at Richmond when both of them got together and then had to exchange words with each other after the race.
24 just moved to 2.
He'll come back and give us a shot, cross us over, and he'll wreck us. Yep.
Trouble on the front straightaway. Kurt Busch turns Jeff Gordon around, and Gordon makes hard contact with the inside retaining wall.
Nothing's more iconic than Jeff Gordon and the two car running into each other on the racetrack. No matter the driver, Rusty Wallace, Brad Keselowski, or Kurt Busch, Jeff Gordon was going to be involved in an incident with the two car. It just seemed that it would always happen, and at Martinsville in 2010, Kurt Busch and Jeff Gordon tangled, and Jeff Gordon ended up being wrecked by Kurt Busch.
Looks as though he's got a little redemption in mind here tonight.
Oh, look out as he has a tire situation. Here comes Edwards right into it. They cross the line, and guess who wins the race? Stenhouse.
Well, thanks to Carl Edwards. Gave him
Unreal finish. Sadler comes across the line third, Wise fourth, Almirola fifth, and Reed Sorensen wins the $100 grand in the dash for cash. And Ricky wins for the second time, courtesy of a shove from Carl Edwards.
If Carl could have avoided him, he would have won the race, but he had nowhere to go. He couldn't react quick enough. I've never seen anything like it.
I've never have either. Look at what's left of the front end of the Fastenal Ford.
Many of you might not know this, but Ricky Stenhouse Jr. was actually really good in the NASCAR Nationwide Series when he was in it. He won 2 consecutive back-to-back championships, and he was a Cup Series favorite heading into 2013. But one of his wildest wins was at Iowa, when he blew an engine coming to the start-finish line to end the race. Second-place driver and his teammate Carl Edwards was trying to pass him, but got slipped in the oil and couldn't do anything about it. Edwards tried to slam on the brakes and ran right into the back of Stenhouse, pushing Stenhouse across the line and won the race. This has to be one of the wildest finishes we've seen in the NASCAR Nationwide Series in its history.
Joey Logano getting a run on Regan Smith. Here comes Casey Kane in the 5. Ryan Sieg in that 39 car up through the middle. Jeremy Clements into the picture. All going on behind Regan Smith. Can he hang on? Will the fuel last to the finish line? Here they come to the checkers. On the outside lane, 3 wide to the win at Daytona. Wow, what a finish.
That was incredible. How did he do that?
Unbelievable, the move that he made right there.
There was about a half a second difference last lap. Smoke from the 48 car.
Just make sure we finish it, bud.
Other Hendrick Motorsports cars with engine troubles earlier today. Inside of 6 laps to go, Johnson loses the lead, Dave.
A lap ago, he said motor laying down, and they radioed back as if they weren't sure if he was kidding or not. He's not.
And there it goes. Might bring a caution now.
Stay on the bottom. That's it, it's dead.
You can see the water coming out of the exhaust pipe.
Jimmie Johnson is one of, if not the greatest driver to ever exist in NASCAR. He had some amazing luck, but at Michigan, he had some bad luck, to be honest. He would run out of fuel, blow a tire, get wrecked, or just have slow cars. And in 2012, it looked to finally be the day that Jimmie Johnson would knock off that elusive win at Michigan. Ultimately, until his engine would expire with just a handful of laps to go, giving the lead to Greg Biffle. This had to have been heartbreaking for Jimmie Johnson and his race fans.
He said after the race last week at Texas, he felt like that was when they needed to win.
Around goes the 9. Chase Elliott hard into the wall. The back of the car's gone.
Wow.
Yeah, he's got a left rear tire down. You see the quarter panel sparking on the ground. Left rear tires come out of these cars, and it can be for a number of reasons, whether it's contact with another car.
What a difference a year makes in NASCAR. In 2019, Chase Elliott was disappointed and heartbroken at Phoenix, and 1 year later he was celebrating a championship. But in 2019, Elliott was so close to reaching that goal. He had one of the fastest cars that afternoon, and he easily could have won the race, propelling him into the Final Four in 2019. But unfortunately for Elliott, his tire would explode in the middle of the corner, and he would back in the wall, ending his hopes and shot at a title. It seemed like the 9 car every year up until 2020 would run into problems in the playoffs, and especially in the round of 8. But he was able to break that elusive streak in 2020 and finally win a championship.
Well, you talked about these guys not giving a chance. And Skinner is off the pace. Skinner is off the pace.
With less than 20 laps to go, it's over for Skinner, Doc.
Mike Skinner has lost the engine. Unbelievable. He just said, guys, I want it badly. We've waited a long time. I want this win. He was just congratulating the crew as they started back to green. And now, just that quickly, with 19 laps to go, in its 114th start, it is all gone away.
Wide World of Sports, a long time ago, I think originated a phrase, but it's used by us, if not. The thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and we are seeing the agony of defeat on the part of Mike Skinner and that entire team. They were excellent today, but will not win here at Atlanta.
And there you see, there is the agony of defeat. The crew felt like they had a shot, and they did have a shot today.
Well, I feel for those guys. Larry Mack and the Mack Daddy, they had a great car today. You hate to see somebody lose it this close to the end.
One of the more shocking races for Mike Skinner was when he was leading in Atlanta with just 20 laps to go. Ultimately, he would have an issue with his race car, causing him to have to go to the garage area and knock him out of the race. Mike Skinner was unfortunately the second fiddle for RCR, so this win could have done wonders for him. His teammate was Dale Earnhardt. Yeah, like how hard is it to be on the same page with him? That had to be extremely hard. And even to make matters worse for Mike Skinner, the win was given to Dale Earnhardt after this.
Track trying to get underneath Biffle. Oh, trouble, and it involves Hamlin. The championship points leader goes around, and can he save it? Caution is out. He keeps it off the wall.
Okay, we're going to need 4 tires. Come on around.
That's a lot of damage to that right front fender. The very thing he did not want to see happen. You see him slam the wheel.
16 just turned right down on us. Right down on me.
I don't see Biffle turning left.
I mean, he might have come just a little bit, but then he was going up into him there also. Always looks a little different, I promise you, from the driver's seat. It's exactly what does happen. You think you're giving him enough room, but
I can guarantee you that this day still haunts Denny Hamlin forever, and it will probably never go away for him. The day he should have won the championship. Denny Hamlin came into the day at Homestead the championship favorite, having a decent point lead over Jimmie Johnson and Kevin Harvick. It was all taken away from him when he got loose off of turn number 2, got into Greg Biffle, and spun down the backstretch. This ultimately ended his day. He had some damage to his race car, and he was really never able to recover, as Jimmie Johnson would claim his 5th consecutive championship.
Oh, and into the wall, the 9 of Chase Elliott. Out of turn 4, Chase Elliott into the wall. You see the fire coming out the right side. And he comes right back in front of the field.
On the right side here.
Oh.
Looks like something broke. I mean, he had a moment where he got a little loose, or either something on the car failed, like a right rear tire or something, but just a wiggle right there. There are a lot of
Now another Evernham team coming out to try and get him restarted and push him down pit road.
He stalled the car, but he may be out of fuel.
That's right, well, he's out of fuel. They were not planning on coming down, and apparently the fuel pressure bobbled. The crew got up on the wall, and then Casey spun out, coming to pit road. He asked if he could stop in Jeremy Mayfield's pit, but his crew chief told him that's not legal. Mayfield's crew trying to push him down here, as you see Jimmy.
This is still something so wild to me. Kasey Kahne's crew was pushing him live down pit road during green flag pit stops. I guess back in the early 2000s, it was kind of legal in NASCAR. The rules weren't as strict, but I'm pretty sure nowadays you're not allowed to do that. But you were able to, and Kahne's crew would help push him after he ended up running out of fuel.
The Wood brothers and Matt DiBenedetto out front at Talladega.
No organization right now. Look at this outside line. Oh, we got a car in the wall, the back straightaway. Cody Ware. Here comes the 17 and the 24. They're going to try to block.
Eric
in
gets
the
up into the wall. Now the 24, a big run. He slides. They make more contact. 3 wide as they come out of 4.
Hamlin to the inside. Side draft coming from the 24 car.
Denny Hamlin. William Byron through the triangle coming up to the stripe. And as they go across the stripe, a photo finish. Denny Hamlin gets the nod by 23 one-thousandths of a second.
No way. And Matt DiBenedetto has no clue until he gets the information from his team that he again is going to come up short.
In 2020, Denny Hamlin and Kevin Harvick were 2 of the best drivers all season, and it seemed like nothing could stop them from winning. And even Denny Hamlin going below the yellow line, doing something illegal, still granted him a win. And it was in the Talladega fall race when there was a huge calamity to turn number 3 with blocking and pushing and shoving. Hamlin would go under the yellow line, passing 3 cars and then getting next to William Byron and Matt DiBenedetto. They would be side by side coming to the line, and Hamlin would edge DiBenedetto out by just a nose. NASCAR had a big controversial moment trying to decide who won this race. Ultimately, they gave it to the 11 car, saying what he did was trying to avoid a crash, and that is why he went below the line. Ultimately, NASCAR even black flagged DiBenedetto and said he pushed people below the yellow line and he lost his finishing position. 2013 saw one of the most controversial nights in NASCAR history. It's when Clint Bowyer intentionally spun out to help his teammates make the playoffs. With a handful of laps to go, Ryan Newman was going to win the race. This would essentially lock him into the playoffs, knocking Martin Truex Jr. out, Clint Bowyer's teammate. Michael Waltrip Racing must have had some code words over the radio, and is your arm starting to itch must be one of the code words. Clint Bowyer would say yes, and then a little bit later, he would spin out on purpose. In his post-race interview, he even tried to blame Dale Jr. that Jr. was touching him. That never even happened. Jr. made no contact with Clint Bowyer. After this, NASCAR handed down significant fines to Michael Waltrip Racing and his drivers. Unfortunately for both of the drivers, they were unable to continue to make their way. If you've enjoyed this video, please hit the like and subscribe button down below. Also, if you've liked this video, I'm pretty sure these videos will catch your eye also.